Hello everybody, welcome to Little Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel and drop a like on this video. Trying to hit 30k subscribers over here, so that subscription would be much appreciated. We are at 29k, so we are really closing in there. So go ahead and subscribe to get into the under 30k club, I guess. So I did a video that will be going out before this one, if that goes to plan, that was about how I'm not an expert and I am using this channel as a diary of a basketball fan who's just talking to you guys about whatever I feel like, whatever is on my mind. And I'm not explicitly trying to make super great points or super well-researched, well-thought-out points. And I figured, what better way to illustrate that level of ignorance that I have for certain facets of this game than by talking about the Summer League, because I've been watching a couple of games, specifically watching the condensed possessions, because can't be fucked to watch full Summer League games a lot, especially live. I did watch Cooper Flagg's first game live. That was basically the only one that I did watch a full every single second of that game. But I wanted to just touch on a few things that I've seen from a couple of different players. This is not super comprehensive. I am not covering the league at large. I am sorry if I do not talk about a player that you are excited about. I just wanted to put a couple of thoughts out there about a couple of these guys. So, first of all, let's talk about the man in the title, the man in the thumbnail, the player who is supposedly the generational prospect from this year's draft, and that is, of course, Cooper Flagg. Now, his first game, kind of rough. Did not shoot the ball well, a lot of missed jumpers specifically, a lot of self-created attempts, especially in the mid-range, and while I do think he looked comfortable and balanced on a lot of these shots, particularly some of his makes were at some kind of awkward angles, but he managed to find the rim anyways, that was definitely not a great debut game, and it felt to me, and this is just based on my understanding of the draft, and again, not a super well-researched, super ton of footage watching guy here about college prospects, but what I have been told about Cooper Flagg is his offense is a lot of great play finishing, a lot of really good playmaking in terms of just passing and stuff like that, but in terms of creating his own shot, not his strongest suit, not the thing that he is the best at. And we saw in his second game where he had 31 points compared to, I think he had just 10 in that first game, he had a lot more attacks that were from an initial action. And that's not to say that every single play was him finishing a dunk where his teammate passed it to him wide open. But I'm talking about he initiates his attack out of a set rather than just getting the ball and being like, all right, Cooper, go to work. Because it doesn't appear to me, and again, based on what I have heard, that Cooper Flagg is supposed to be this you take the ball, go to work guy. More someone who will be a great play finisher, cutter, and anything like that, screener, roller, great in the fast break, got a lot of fast break opportunities in that second game. And then he had a lot of plays where he did do some self-creation, but it was after another advantage was created away from the ball. Or away from him, rather. And he hit 2 pull-up three-pointers, and I think that second one of them, there was some action at the top of the key that he created the space with and then dribbled into the shot. It doesn't have to be... There's this idea that people have, they talk about the on-ball and off-ball offense like they're separate things. They are entirely connected, and I think Cooper did a great job in that second game of using off-ball movement to create an advantage for him to attack with the ball finally in his hand. So I liked what I saw from him there. A ton of athletic plays, very active defensively, some nice dunks, missed a lot of dunks. That's something that I assume he will clean up. And I do think his mid-range jumper seems real. I don't think his percentage on it is particularly good, if I had to guess, just based on what I remember. I know his shooting was very bad in that first game, but I'm just saying it looked pretty comfortable for him. It looked natural, it looked smooth, and I think that's going to be a very real shot for him early. And to be clear, nothing I'm saying in this is definitive, but I'm not saying that Cooper will not be a strong creator, just that it might be an issue for his offense to figure out a little bit later. I would have liked to see a little bit more playmaking out of him, some few few more opportunities at getting dimes. Definitely some ones where his teammates just simply didn't finish, and that is the bitch of Summer League. But overall, Cooper Flagg, 2 games through, I think they said he's done after that. I think they did that same shit with Victor Wembanyama. Maybe he played 3 games. I saw one of them. That was fun in person. But yeah, Cooper Flagg almost went to Vegas this year just for Cooper Flagg. But I was like, it seems like a lot of people who I'd like to hang out with aren't going this year. So I think I'm going to not go. But almost did it pretty much entirely for Cooper Flagg. And he seems to be very legit. I think he is going to live up to the hype, at least to some degree. But it's interesting that he's kind of been this litmus test for what you believe generational talent to be. That's what I'm seeing in terms of the prospect discussion is like, is Cooper generational? Or is he just, rather than generational, just very, very, very good, but not quite crossing that line? I don't know. It's interesting. It's something that I'm going to be following throughout his rookie year, I guess. And number 2 pick, Dylan Harper. Don't have nearly as much. I'm not going to have as much to say about pretty much anybody besides for Cooper. But Dylan Harper, he was slashing really well. He got to the rim at a very high volume. I did not watch his second game, which I think was against the Lakers, but that was a very bad game shooting-wise. Just looking at the box score, I think he went like 5 for 21. So we'll give him the more favorable look here by talking about his first game. I really liked his first bucket, which was this cut down the middle where he finished with the right hand. But whether it was in the half court or in the fast break, he was getting to the rim very well. A lot of well-done dribbling, Euro step in transition. He also got a chase down block on Andrew Nembhard's brother. I don't remember what his first name is, but Andrew Nembhard's brother, you can guess what his last name is. Also some good drive and kick stuff, especially in transition. He had this one really great look ahead pass where he threw traffic. There's his teammates ahead of him. There's 2 defenders on either side of him. Put the ball in the right spot for him to get it in transition. So Dylan Harper, I liked what I saw from him in that first game. VJ Edgecombe is maybe someone who I also have a lot to say about because, first of all, he looks really natural lefty, like left-handed. I feel like he favored his left hand whenever he was dribbling, like definitely more left-hand dribbles than right hand. He had good touch in the mid-range, seemed pretty comfortable there. His jumper looks mechanical and like uncomfortable when he gets behind the line. It's a bit more natural of a shot in general when he's pulling up, which he overwhelmingly did more from mid-range, but I think he had a pull-up 3 as well that looked more comfortable. It kind of reminds me of Patrick Williams, which is not a good thing to hear, but not necessarily like some huge indictment. Just Patrick Williams has this very smooth, comfortable mid-range game, and then when you look at his jump shot from 3, suddenly it looks like a robot shooting the ball. Kind of got that impression from VJ, which is something that you get a lot with guards who don't necessarily have the most reliable jumpers, so I can't say I'm all too surprised about that. But I can see the Victor Oladipo comp there. I saw a lot of people compare him to Victor Oladipo, and I think it makes sense. I will say, though, there's no way that guy is 6'5". He is not 6'5". I'm calling bullshit. Either everybody else is lying or he's lying. That man is not 6'5". He did get hurt after his first game, so looks like he is going to be a Sixers great. He got right with the program there. Ace Bailey. I have only seen clips of Ace Bailey's self-created shots, like him hitting a bunch of difficult pull-ups and stuff like that. So I kind of was given the impression from the draft people that was most, if not all, of what he did. No, he is an incredible play finisher. A bunch of different instances of like being found in just a good position to attack close to the rim. He got, I think, 3 different possessions where he got an offensive rebound and then dunked it immediately. And he is very athletic. Like, his dunks were ferocious, powerful. He looks big. He looks strong. He looks lengthy. And then also his 3-ball was real. He even hit a no-dip 3-pointer, which is really cool. So I'm actually more intrigued by Ace Bailey than I was just based on what I saw about him coming out of the draft, because so much of it was focused on this creation stuff. But I guess that's also just the way that he was playing in college. again, I don't know, but I very much felt that he was a great play finisher from what I saw. And then like his creation stuff, his 3-point shooting, that also looked real, but like, I don't know, the fact that the creation stuff was so much at the forefront of the conversation for him, I think was underselling the type of potential that he had. There were questions of character and mentality and all of that, but like if he's willing to buy into the offensive system that the Utah Jazz run, I think he will get a lot of easy opportunities to score the ball just by playing within that system. And then he's also going to be basically their number one scoring option, or at least their number one shot creating option. So I can only imagine that he's going to get plenty of opportunity there. So just based on that, I feel like he's got a pretty good opportunity to win Rookie of the Year. Not a lot of people who are going to be standing above him in the pecking order in terms of shots. And like I said, I was just super impressed by his physical profile, by his finishing inside, his rebounding. Like, dude plays way more like a big man than I was led to believe. I kind of got the impression that he was just a 6'9" J.R. Smith, but like mostly just the bad shots not being even great. I don't know. Again, just based on perception going in, which is a loose perception at that. But the guy who probably stood out the most to me, and just because I literally knew nothing about him, was Johan Baring, drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the middle of the first round, playing the center position. He is being hyped up as the Rudy Gobert replacement because in his first game, he blocked 6 shots and got 2 steals in 22 minutes, while also putting up 11 points, 8 rebounds, 3 of them being offensive rebounds. He's not a soft-handed weenie. He can finish at the rim well. He seems to have pretty damn good hands. And as you could tell from logging 8 stocks in 22 minutes, he's a pretty active defender and defensive playmaker. Obviously, very loud first game. I didn't see anything beyond his first game. I think he's played a second one, but I haven't looked into it. But I was very impressed by him. I'm going to be keeping an eye on him going forward. And like, I don't know. It seems very difficult to get out of Rudy Gobert. Getting out of that contract is going to be a motherfucker. But if they can manage to do that without trading any real assets, they could very well pick up where they left off if this guy is a legit rim protector. Not to say that he can be as good as Rudy Gobert, you know, at his peak, but he doesn't need to be better than Rudy Gobert at his peak. He needs to be better than Rudy Gobert right now. And if his defense manages to be on a anywhere similar territory, and then offensively, he can actually catch the ball, he can finish at the rim, he will not drop the ball every time he gets it, like that makes a huge difference. So he looked cool. Colin Murray Boyles, the guy the Raptors drafted, I don't have anything really to say about his offense, but his defense, he was a super active and like very present defender. And that is the thing you want to see out of young players in this situation, is that they are taking it seriously and that they're locked in. He was locked in. Effort was there very clearly. That was no issue. Chicago's guy, Noah Esenge, from my understanding, his jumper was his biggest issue coming into the draft, and it looked good in this game. 3 for 7 from outside, kind of an awkward form where it would look great from some angles and then terrible from others, but it did look natural. It did look comfortable for him. He had a midi or two go in as well in this game. He did get dunked on by John Furphy, and that's kind of the main thing that everybody's been talking about from that game, but he did play very well. Also, I only wanted to talk about rookies in this video, but I do need to add, damn, Buzelis looked good. Oh, he might be the truth, dude. Anyways, Trey Johnson, Washington Wizards, right? Yes, right, he's a Wizard. Looked super comfortable creating his own shot at pretty much every level, driving pretty well, mid-range creation, floaters and stuff like that, decent couple of threes, couple of pull-up threes. He looked good. He looked very comfortable, looks like a real bucket getter, and the Wizards could use one of those, so hopefully that translates to the NBA level. Yang Hansen, the dude can pass, or is it Hansen Yang? I don't, they flip him, like I don't know. I'm sorry if I got it backwards, but the dude can pass. I see why they call him Chinese Jokic. There is very much a resemblance in that play. The passing style, just the way that they pass the ball looks similar. But he appears to be a far more capable rim protector than Jokic is at any point in his career, let alone coming in as a prospect. So, yeah, I mean, he's not going to be Jokic levels offensively, but if we're talking about a guy who can protect the rim super well and then finish well, and then he's a great passer, that is a very interesting player. So he's someone to watch out for as well. And the last guy I'm going to talk about is Jeremiah Fears, who is the draft pick by the New Orleans Pelicans, the point guard. His handle, very clean, very comfortable. You see a lot of people commenting on his highlights, like, dude looks like he's bringing street ball to the summer league. Like, he has a very filthy handle and a very effective crossover. And it's not just like all flash, no substance. He was using it to create a lot of really nice drives. Specifically against the Lakers was the game that I watched from him. Also a couple of runners that he seemed very comfortable with. His jump shot was not dropping. However, his pull-up looked comfortable, looked natural, looked like good form, just shots weren't going. He also threw a sick lob to their big man, Misi. However, otherwise, not too much playmaking. And I do wonder what exactly the Pelicans are doing at that point guard spot next year. I can only imagine he probably ends up being the starter, but there's really not. I don't know. I would like a more play. I just want a guy who can pass really well to play with Zion. I feel like that's not too much to ask, but I guess it is. Maybe this guy has more playmaking chops to him. Maybe it's just overreacting to the summer league. But I did see this, and I was like, I would have liked to have a more pass-minded guy as the centerpiece in this team, because when you actually look at their starters, I mean, the center situation's kind of sketch because it's really hard to find a great center to fit Zion's ability specifically. I don't know. I'm doing a Pelicans video later, so I'm not going to go into it right now. All I know is Jeremiah Fears looks like he can score. I don't know about the passing, though. But let me know what stood out to you from the Summer League. Who are the players that you were interested in? Who are some players that I should watch out for through the rest of this? Maybe go back and watch a couple other games. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. I am not an expert. This is just me yapping. If you want to watch it, you can. Thank you so much, Nick, for editing, and goodbye.